The reason why I want to do this for you is because I know how it feels and you feel like there's no way out. So that you and your daughter can have a fresh start.
So today I'm here to meet Lamara. So I've been speaking to Lamara for the last couple of weeks and currently she's experiencing homelessness. So this is the first person that I have spoken to in the current situation. I'm excited to meet her. I'm so happy that she's agreed to see me. I'm nervous. Why am I nervous? Hello, hi. I'm so very nice to meet you finally.
To meet you. How are you?
Oh my gosh, you're gorgeous.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you so much for seeing me.
It's
Oh,
okay.
it's lovely and warm in it.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about your experience because currently you are homeless.
Yeah.
Could you just start off telling me how you got in this position, because you have said that, you know, you were fine one day.
Yeah. So basically in September 2017, one day everything was fine.
Yeah.
And then I came home one day and had an eviction notice from the landlord, formed as a Section 21.
Yeah.
Didn't have a clue what that was. So I've rang them up and I'm like, I've just come home and I've seen this, like, what is this? I was like, the landlord wants possession of the property. So I went down to the council and spoke to their tenancy relation team.
Yeah.
And the first thing the lady goes to me is, are you in arrears? I was like, no, I don't know what this is. I've Googled Section 21 and it just says you could get it because the landlord wants possession back. Yeah, waited after the 2 months. I got another letter from the landlord saying he's gone to the courts to get possession. You then still have to wait until that drags out. The council can't do nothing because you're not homeless.
Yeah.
But then say like it got harder in the property because the landlord wanted me to go. He stopped fixing things.
It's so stressful.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it was like, it was the not knowing what's happening was the hardest part. And then in, I think, April, I got the letter to say the landlord has possession and can get the property back in May. Went back to the council and they said, oh, no, you have to wait till the bailiffs come, so you're still fine. In all that time, I was looking privately and went to view some properties, but it's like you have to be earning 30,000 a year or more and a guarantor, or the common one was like no DSS, no housing benefit. So even if you are working and they're topping it up, they don't want it. You need to be able to pay the rent in full.
And I believe that the upfront cost for that is a lot of money.
It was a lot. So it was basically like 6 weeks rent in advance, 6 weeks deposit, the agency fee and an inventory check-in just to move in.
So you were in a bit of a situation, so the council couldn't help you.
Yeah.
And then to go privately, it would cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And £4,000, that's
Literally.
a lot of money.
First I was thinking, okay, so rent in advance and deposit, okay, surely we can like save and get it together. Yeah. Then it was like check-in fees, the letting agents, their cost, and I was like, okay, this is all becoming a lot. So stayed in the property until I went to the council in June. And then they said to me, now the landlord does have possession, it's past the possession date, so he will be actually getting a bailiff warrant. We can move you out.
So the bailiffs didn't come?
Yeah, because what happened with me, because the landlord can tick a box on all of the court papers to say to get the money from the tenant. Okay. So where I work full time, I was actually paying that money. So all the stages of the eviction, I had to pay for. So then
it's very costly, isn't it?
Yeah,
very
it was
costly.
Like £450, £300. So when I went to the council the last time to say, okay, I've got this possession paper, the eviction notice next, it was like, okay, to stop you paying the cost, and because we know you are going to be evicted, we'll move you out before, so I don't have to come back with all my stuff and all that stuff. I kind of could skip that step. So then I packed up my stuff on the day they said come back. Packed up, they said, we're going to move you somewhere suitable. They said, come in 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday. So I took the day off work, went there, and I was there till like 2:30 before anyone even spoke to me. And then I went in this room for this lady. So all my stuff was like packed in a van because I had no clue where it was going. Yeah, it was literally just outside in a van, paying this guy by the hour for my stuff outside. And then they said to me, So the closest place we have, which is a studio flat,
Okay.
is in Redbridge. I think that was Essex when I googled it. I have no clue where that was.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I don't know what that
Yeah.
is. They said, oh, we also have another place which is a studio flat in Croydon. And I was like, Croydon's a bit far for me because obviously I live in Peckham.
You've got a daughter as well.
Yeah.
Your daughter has school and you've
Yeah.
got a job. Wasn't it about a 2-hour commute?
It's 2 hours.
Each way?
2 hours each way.
Is this the point where you went into a temporary accommodation? So you weren't allowed to bring your stuff into the temporary accommodation?
But I didn't even know that till that day. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that it happened.
I didn't know. So at this point, I didn't even know that where I was going, whether it would be a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom,
Of course, yeah.
a hostel. I had no clue. But they said, this is what they said to me: when you come back on Monday, we're going to move you and your daughter into somewhere suitable for you to live. They didn't say put your stuff in storage. They said give the landlord back the keys so you don't incur any more rent.
Yeah.
So I paid the landlord all his rent that was owed. And the lady literally said to me, this is the only property we have. You either take it or you're making yourself potentially homeless. So I was like, oh, okay. So she printed off this tenancy agreement. She goes, oh, go and see it. I went to go see it, and it was like down the back of an alleyway, on the 3rd floor, on top of some shops,
Yeah.
with a cooker like right next to my head. Like literally, like the cooker was this close. Like I could touch the cooker from bed.
Did you live there for a bit?
I had to
then?
stay there for
You stayed there?
a week and a bit.
Okay.
And I was ringing them every day to say, I can't live here when I'm leaving work at 11:30 at night and I'm getting back to this house after 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
It is pitch black. I went to the hostel and it was literally like a bunk bed.
Oh, it was bunk beds. Were you sharing a room with other people or was just you and your daughter?
No, it was just me and my daughter.
Yeah.
The room is a room by yourself. So it's like literally a bunk bed, a fridge,
Okay.
and your stuff. That's it. But you share a bathroom, a toilet,
Yeah.
and a kitchen with... No one has a set unit, so if you find the cleanest one and you want to use that one, that's the one you use.
So how did you feel once you were in the temporary accommodation? Is this when your mental health took a hit?
I hated it. That's like my mental health was like... At that point, I was classed as vulnerable to my whole mental health team because in April, which was like... After I turned 25 on the 1st of April, and on the 4th of April, I took an overdose because I didn't know what was happening with my housing. I was scared. There was like no support anywhere, and I'm just like watching YouTube videos and Googling living in temporary accommodation and reading stories, and I was just like, my anxiety was just doing overtime, and I was like, I don't want to live in these places.
There is an issue between mental health and homelessness, and a lot of people don't recognise there's a connection, but I thoroughly believe that there is a connection between homelessness and mental health.
Yeah.
And for you to take an overdose is...
No, I was actually terrified.
I honestly... And you said all of this
Yeah.
to the social worker, to the council, and they didn't...
They had my discharge note from the hospital to say how long I was in hospital for. They had, so on the discharge note and my the note when I got admitted to hospital, it said everything that I took, the state I arrived in, when I got to the hospital. So they had all of that stuff. They had letters from my doctors, letters from my mental health team to say like her homelessness is causing a lot on her mental health. We've had to up antidepressants, and it was just like nothing. It was literally just nothing. Yeah.
So if there's anyone watching this video who is in that state of mind, do you have any tips? Because obviously you've kind of been through it, and what would you advise for those people out there?
I would say call a friend. Yeah. Call like Samaritans, call anyone, to be honest, that can answer the phone and talk to you at that moment. Even literally call 999.
So I just want to speak about how the council approached you about working and also being on benefits as well. Did they tell you to reduce your hours, to quit?
So basically, I was in the hostel, and when I left Starbucks, I left Starbucks on a Friday.
Okay.
And I started working for Nando's the next Monday, so I was wasn't even out of employment for 2 days, but went from one job to another job. When that happened, I had to suspend my housing benefit. So I called up housing benefit and said, oh, I'm leaving one job today, I've just left, and I'm starting my new job on Monday.
Okay.
And they just said, oh, we have to suspend your claim. And I said, oh, why? And it was like, we have to suspend your claim until you provide your new contract, prove that you've left your old job and all the other stuff. So okay, then that's fine. Went home, submitted everything to them.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, we can't start your claim without a P45. And I said, well, that takes a while to come.
Yeah.
And they was like, well, we can't do anything until your P45 comes. So went to one house, and obviously then I went to the hostel, and I was ringing them up to say, look, I've moved house. I'm now in a hostel. I need to get the rent paid. I was like, well, we don't have your P45 yet, and you don't have a rent account, so we can't actually pay any rent anywhere. I called them 13 times from June until August, the end of August, about this housing benefit. So I've submitted everything to you. I've now submitted my P45. They was like, oh, we don't have a rent account to pay your rent to. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went down to the homeless place, so it's Bournemouth Road, and I said, obviously, I don't want to fall into arrears. I don't have a rent account. Housing benefit said they can't pay. So they was like to me, well, here's your rent account number. So they wrote it down on paper. And they said, we can't tell you how much to pay until housing benefit work out how much they're going to pay. Then it got to, I think, the 13th of August, and I called them up again. I said, look, they've now given me my rent account number on paper. Can I give you this number? They was like, oh, yeah. Then maybe we could get your account in payment. Mm-hmm. Gave them the number. I'm waiting for any letters, post. Nothing came. Then one day I logged in to my Southwark account, and I had over £1,000 of arrears, like 1,300 or something pounds of arrears just sitting there on my account. Nobody had contacted me about these arrears. No one told me these arrears were there. Nothing. So I was like, okay.
Well, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of. I cried. Like, I literally cried. Like, I called my friend and I was like, Rochelle, like, listen, I don't want to cry on camera for my makeup.
No.
I'm so sorry, like.
But that is terrible.
It was so much.
For no fault of your own.
Yeah.
And
I didn't sleep. I was awake and I was sitting there thinking, how am I going to pay this? What's going to happen? So I went to the council the next day. Well, I think my next day.
Does this mean that because you've got these arrears now, they won't look for a house for you?
Oh yeah, they told me. So when I went to the council and I said to them, I've just logged in, there's all these arrears on my account. I don't know what I'm meant to do about this stuff. They was like, well, you have to pay it. And I was like, is there no help I can get because these arrears are not my fault? There's like, no, because of I'm in full-time employment, I'm not entitled to, I think it's called discretionary housing payment. I can't get that. It's for people on a lower income. And I was like, okay, but what about my arrears? I was like, well, with arrears, you won't be able to bid. You can be evicted from temporary accommodation. We will have no duty to house you. But I was like, but the arrears isn't my fault. It's like, well, you're going to have to find a way to pay it. And I said, but if I stay in this hostel, and I literally worked out to them how much I earn, how much my storage costs, how much my travel costs. And they said, we don't have to take into account your storage or your travel. I said, but with how much I have to pay in rent that you guys have calculated, I'll have no money left. So they was like, have you thought about reducing hours and going on universal credit? And I was like, pardon?
Yeah.
They was like, yeah, we tell people that approach us to drop their hours so that universal credit pays, because otherwise this is the problem that people have because they can't afford to pay it. And I was like, but I don't want to.
Well, that would be sacrificing your
my
career.
Job. It's
well,
my
your
whole
career.
Job. I'm on salary, so it doesn't. Well, my next step is salary.
So in the short term, it probably would have been benefit to you, but in the long run, you're sacrificing the career that you love, which, you know, as you progress can open a wealth of opportunity in employment.
Yeah.
And they wanted you to.
Yeah. I literally said to them, I said, like, right now I'm on hourly pay. I'm on probation and I'm progressing into management, so I will then go on salary. I said, I can't drop my hours because if I drop my hours, I drop my position, and that's my job. That's like, that's the only option, or you have to give up your homelessness application. Me reducing my hours or quitting my jobs, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to quit my job to do what? Go and sign on to say that I need a job? Every 2 weeks just to get paid universal credit. I said no.
Now you sleep here at your mum's.
Yeah, so we're sitting on Nevaeh's bed.
Okay, yeah.
This is where my daughter sleeps, and I sleep on the other sofa.
Yeah.
over there.
That must be, because I went through that with staying at my grandmother's at the time. And I know that's incredibly hard for on your mental mind, because obviously you don't have your stuff with you. Because some people think, you know, you're at your mum's, you're not homeless, but you have none of your stuff. You're sleeping on a sofa. You're living out of a case. And there's so much other things that go into it. And I bet you feel you've got no privacy.
No, I don't.
You said your daughter falls off the sofa,
all the time.
and she's injured herself a few times as well.
Yeah.
So at the moment you're in a situation where, because of these arrears, you can't be put on a bidding system for a house.
Yeah.
You are working full time, you've got your daughter, and to rent privately it's going to cost a lot of upfront costs.
Yeah.
And do you, like, how at the moment, how do you see going forward?
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
Sorry. I didn't want to cry.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't.
Sorry, I'm going to cry now. So when I experienced homelessness and the bailiffs came and all my stuff was on the front lawn, luckily one of my dad's friends bailed us out. And I'll never forget that moment and how much that helped my family and, you know, in a moment of crisis. So, you know, the reason why I want to do this for you is because I know how it feels and feel like there's no way out.
Yeah.
So, if you are okay with this, I would like to pay your arrears off, so that you and your daughter can have a fresh start. Because I think how you've been treated is completely unfair.
Thank you.
And I want you going forward in the new year to have a fresh start.
Thank you.
No, that's no, complete honesty. Honestly, I just want this all to get better for you, and I think you've been so brave, and you are a credit to your daughter. You work so hard, and you're in a senior position in what sounds like a fantastic company. Like, not only do they do good chicken, but they treat their staff well, and I just think you are a role model.
Thank you.
For people in this situation. So I hope this helps, and
thank you.
And yeah.
Ruined both of me.
I know what's going on. My eyelashes are going to fall off. I think they have fallen off. So shelter has been a huge help in your life at the moment, and the work that they do is absolutely amazing, and all I can say is a massive thank you to agreeing to meet me and speak to me, and like I said, you are a role model.
Thank you.
So thank you for talking to me today.
Thank you.
I am so glad that I came and visited Lamara today. It's just an example that there isn't just one type of homelessness. So a lot of people think that it's just the man on the street, but homelessness in Lamara's situation, it has such an impact on not only her own life, but also her daughter and her family. And I think that we need to explore that type of homelessness, and also, of course, not ignoring other types of varieties. The reason why I chose to donate the money to Lamara today was because this happened to me 10 years ago. So a family friend helped us out in a moment of need, and to this day I always remember that generous act of kindness, because I know that without that money we definitely would have lost our home there and then, and also our possessions. So it just meant something to do that.